Hey guys, just jumping on again today. We're going to slice a little bit of pork loin. Got Miss S.Miles here with me today, hanging out. Say hi.
Hey, how you doing?
So basically, I go to the grocery store, I buy the really large pork loin. I bring it home, I cut it in either 3 or 4 sections.
Because there are numerous pounds.
Yes. Then what I do is I take a little bowl like so, put a section of it in that bowl, and that keeps it square, okay? When I keep it square, then it holds it in place, and I put it in the freezer. So when I take it out of the freezer, as you see, it's frozen. I'm going to take it out of here, and we're going to slice it with the frozen meat slicer.
But you took that out a little while ago.
Usually about 30, 40 minutes. Kind of see what works best for you. Depends on how deeply frozen your meat is.
You know how much?
Depending on how big a chunk of meat you have, you can take it out 10 or 15 minutes, 30 minutes. You just kind of have to play with it to see what works best for you. But this is a frozen meat slicer, and I will link it in the video. So basically, I'm going to take it out of this little Glad tub, and I'm going to lay it in here in my slicer, like so. And this adjusts the blade on your slicer. So I'm going to adjust it to where it's going to cut fairly thin.
This is my first time viewing this, so I'm looking.
Let me do it.
A couple different dials.
Yep. Okay, so you have these little adjustments here on your blade. So you want to adjust them just a little at a time, not a lot, and kind of get a good consistency with your slicing. So this is your guide, and this is your blade. So you're going to take your meat, push it up against the guide, and then you're going to slice it with the blade. So you're going to come down, slice it with the blade.
I like how thin it is.
Slice it with the blade. And as you can see, I don't know if you can tell how thin that is in the video, but it's very thin. It's very floppy, very thin. It's the perfect thickness. So you're going to basically take these, you're going to load them on your dehydrator, and I sprinkle them. I'm going to show you my Redmond's popcorn salt. Absolutely amazing. As you see, this is still very frozen. Still very frozen. I've got it sitting in the meat slicer here. I use a paper towel. My meat slicer comes with a thing you can push it with, but for me, I can never get it to work right. So I've got a paper towel here because it's cold. My hand is back here. As you see, the blade is here. I'm safe. It's not electric. It's manual. Again, you push the meat up to the guide, and then you basically slice like so. Slice it like this. Sometimes if the meat is still too frozen, it will roll, and when you try, see, I've got a little bit of a curve now, and when you try to unroll it, it will break, and you don't want that. So it's a fine line between still frozen enough to not break, but thawed out enough to slice nicely. All right, so you want to try to keep as straight of an edge as you can on here as you're going, because that will make your slices a lot better. And it's not really that hard. However, you do get a nice arm workout for sure.
And Audra and I were talking, if it gets too sloppy over here, you could like cut that off with scissors.
Yeah, just trim a little bit of it off. But you see what you're getting here is a nice piece of meat. And when I show you this end result tomorrow, after the 12 hours of dehydrating, it literally is like eating salted potato chips. It's just that amazing, and it's nothing but pork loin and the popcorn salt I'm going to show you.
What brand? Redmond's.
Redmond's popcorn salt. That's right.
Hey,
Redmond's.
tell them about the other kind you bought and what you thought.
I actually did buy an off-brand of salt. So the off-brand that I bought was Morton's. It's Morton salt. It's popcorn salt, and it does not taste like Redmond's. Redmond's Real Salt is key. It tastes so natural.
And I just did the taste test. Redmond's hand down over the Morton's popcorn salt. They're both popcorn salts, powdery kind of deal, but no, Redmond's for the win.
And as you see, I've just sliced these 3 pieces laying here, and they're really starting to thaw out more so after sliced because they're so thin. And you want to go ahead and put those on your trays, because if you wait too long, then they become kind of wet, sort of mushy like, and you don't want that because they'll come apart again.
Harder to handle, right?
Exactly, harder to handle. So like I said, that's how you do it. I normally will do till the entire dehydrator is full, all 9 shelves, and we like to get the biggest bang for our buck. So now we've kind of got down to the end. This is how much of that big block we had. I'm going to show you all of the pork loin on the racks in just a minute when I salt it. So basically you want to, where we were cutting in this direction, now it's kind of slippery and kind of slick, so we're going to turn it this way in the meat slicer, still holding it with my paper towel. I don't like to wear gloves, so we're going to slice it this way. So we're just going to have little pieces, because as carnivores and meat lovers, we do not want any waste.
No waste.
You know what I'm saying? No waste. And then now you have these little small pieces, and they shrink up some in the dehydrator, but it's still like chips. It's really, really so good, even with like a chicken salad or chicken magic or any of those kind of things. It's still good. As you see, it's getting smaller and smaller. We're down to this much. No waste. Karen, you give it a try.
Woohoo! Okay. Now I'm so short. What I found when we did the big piece of the whole loin, I had to stand on my tippy toes. But now that this is a little shorter, I can do this.
Awesome.
Ta-da!
Now it's time for the salting process. So here is my Redmond's. It's powdered popcorn salt. Has nothing to do with popcorn. It's just Redmond's Real Salt ground up really fine. So I take some of this. You can get this on Redmond's website.
Discount code Audra Coleman.
That's right. You can get that there. I put some into a basic salt shaker, and then I take it, and you have to kind of shake it up a little bit because it's so powdered it will become clumped in the salt shaker. So then I take it, basically salt, just a little salt, not a lot, just a little salt on each tray that you see we have going on here, like so. And then we turn and move each tray to the dehydrator. All right, here we are. Some lovely pork loin cut up nice thin. This was the nice pieces. As you see the thickness again, the thinner the better. This is the end of the pork loin when we turned it. And we have some other little small pieces because we don't waste no meat. No, we don't. And again, Redmond's Real Salt, popcorn salt in the shaker. Shake it off, and now we're going to the dehydrator. We're going to put our shelves in.
The 9-shelf unit is really nice.
Yes. We're going to put our lid on the front, the cover. We're going to go for 12 hours. I already have the temperature set.
As high as it goes at 159?
Yes. And now she is locked, loaded, and you basically set it and forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow morning will be carnivore bliss.
Woohoo! Have a good one.